Hi everyone and welcome to another art tutorial. So in this video I'm gonna go over a frequently asked question is that why do I use Photoshop to make my pixel art? So here I'm gonna list some of the reasons why I do that. First of all, I just want to get some stuff out of the way so that I own a copy of CS6 Photoshop. For me to use another pixel art program I would have to spend money on that, or if it is free. Another thing is that I've been using Photoshop for 16 years, so I know it very well. I know all of its keyboard shortcuts. I can move very fast within the program, so me using another art program to make pixel art, I would either have to spend money or definitely learn how to use that program, and that takes time, which I'm not think it's a good idea to invest these things when there's no other pixel art program that I've seen that would make it worth the investment. So with that out of the way, because it might not be your situation, at some point Photoshop Adobe is going to stop supporting CS6, and then I will have to rent Creative Cloud, which I don't really want to do. I want to own or not have issues with compatibility on the program that I'm using. So one thing that I like about Photoshop, and I was really surprised that other art programs like Sprite do not have layers. I did not know that it was possible for a graphic arts program to not have layer features. When other people have told me they are working on Stardew Valley mods that certain programs do not have layers, I did not believe them. I had to Google it, and I was like shocked that that wasn't something that every art program had. So obviously I prefer a program that has layers. As you can see here, I can turn on and off a lot of things. I can group in Photoshop. This is not something you can do in all the programs, but I'm definitely glad that it is now a feature because this folder option is awesome and very useful. Another thing that I have in Photoshop, and it's a bit more tricky to get in other programs, is click selection. So I have this option here up above. As you can see on the top left side of the screen, I can click this little box for auto select. And what this does is that, for example, I select the layer for text and I can do whatever I want there, and then I can select this arrow and do whatever I want with that. Let's see here, let's turn the different color, as you can see, and I can do these things quickly because I can just select. If I have something in a folder, a layer, I don't know where it is, I just need to work on it, I just click on her hair and it opens the folder here on the lower right. So again, I've closed the folder, I click her hair, layer is selected, folder is open. Let's make this layer red, let's make the folder green, and I'm closing it, select it, change it to red again. Hopefully you can see on the monitor, I click on her hair and bam, it opens, red layer selected. And that is super convenient when you have, let's see, this project here. I have like maybe 600 layers. It would be impossible to find anything. I like to have maximum amount of editability and flexibility, so for me, just clicking on something and finding it, as you can see here, I'm clicking on stuff and the colors change because I put them in folders, and that makes it very easy for me to find something and edit it. Now let's go back to this like smaller, simpler project that you can follow because that may seem overwhelming for you. So let's see, the next point is styles. This is a feature that I've only ever seen in Photoshop. I wish other programs had it because it is super useful. So let me show you. I select her hair, I go here to the lower right corner and I click this FX, and now I open, let's click blending options. There we go, top one. And I've now opened this window that is named Layer Styles. Now what this does is that it can add a bunch of features um, to a layer. And let's say I want to change the color of her hair, and I also have blending options, and I can choose color, and let's choose green. Okay, so I've turned her hair green. Let's choose like a less horrible green. There we go, she has lemon green hair now. So as you remember, she had pink hair, and now it's made this option here, effects, and I can turn it on and off. How cool is that? I can choose whether I want to or not have something, still have it be editable. Maybe I realize, oh, you know what, I don't want green hair, I actually want blue. And when you're working with clients that constantly change their minds, like when you get into that, it's very useful to have. You might know your own projects better, or even you might realize you made a mistake and you need to change things. This is awesome to have. Now, more practical applicability that for Stardew Valley fans in my audience. So this is the wood layer here, that I have the wooden trims for the buildings, and I also want like a darker version and a lighter version. And I'm opening here tiled just so you can see. So the default in vanilla is this warm orangish color, which is really nice. I like it a lot, but for certain characters I wanted more dark furniture. And for example, for my character, I'm gonna make a witchy that is of dubious moral leanings, so I kind of wanted to give off that vibe with a darker house. And you can achieve that effect of making an area more spooky by adding more darker colors. And that orangish there would have clashed a bit too much, and so I prefer to have like a darker trim. Now what I really enjoy that I can do is have combine it with the smart object feature and with the masks, and I'm gonna show you in a bit how I can have all of those things be editable and then update into bin, in tiled, sorry. And you kind of will be able to see like how I'm combining all of these and how it is very beneficial for the projects that I'm working on. Next up is masks. So for example, you want to edit something that is on a layer, and an option that Photoshop has is color range selector. So I can just select certain colors. I'm keeping the shift key pressed just so I can collect some of the colors here, because I don't want her skin, I just want her clothes to change color. And you can play around with the fuzziness if you want additional colors or not. Because it is pixel art, I've lowered the fuzziness to 0 just so it selects exactly the pixels that I told it to, nothing more, nothing less. So I click OK, and now I have selected just that bit there, and I'm gonna make another layer and put a color just for the moment, just to fill that in. And I'm gonna tell it to create a clipping mask. So you click right and you make a layer, a clipping mask again. Let me show you. Create clipping mask. So I've made another layer, layer 1, let's name it clothing placeholder, and I made that a clipping mask as to what I filled in. And now again I can give it a color overlay. Just leave it color, and I can play around with the blending modes here. Multiply. And just have textures and patterns and other things that I can put in there. Let's see. The scale. And I've made her dress now be made out of stone. And again, you can turn on and off that option. And here it is on the screen blending, so you can see it is lighter. And I've turned off the effects, and let's say maybe I want it to be pink, and as you can see now it's changing within that layer what I wanted. And again, I have selection here, and what I can do on the body is just copy and paste. Control Shift V. And so you can see now I only have like the clothes. And again, I can add effects, the styles. And let's see, I select color, and I want to make her clothes, so they were kind of a blue color. Let's make it a pink. Kind of comes out as purple. We can do it even lighter. I'll double this layer and set it to screen, and you can get like these wild colors. Now you might need this as a draft to try things out, because drawing it might take a bit of time. Of course, if you're doing a smaller project like this, might not be worth the effort. You can just go and, you know, just redraw over it pixel by pixel. Let me show you. So this is blown up just so you can see it better, but if you go here into the actual file size that you would actually be using, yeah, you don't need to go in with all of those complicated layers. You can just draw like whatever you want. For example, here I'm gonna make her dress orangish. Again, select another color, and there I made her color, her dress orangish, yellowish, something. And that's very quick. I'm pressing Control H to turn on and off the grid. I like that this has it, but I think most pixel art programs have a grid, so it's nothing special in regards to that. What maybe are the grid lines? They're a bit more unique. Maybe not all programs have that, but a lot of art programs have it, so nothing special there. And let me just undo her dress. So depends on what scale you're working, which options might be faster for you. When you're doing a character, you don't really need all of these fancy extra things that I've talked about. But when you're doing a bigger art project, like I am here, and it's a lot more content that you need to edit easily, then all of these things start to be useful. So, last but not least, another powerful tool is the smart object. What this does is it compounds things and makes multiplications that are all editable at the root. I think would be the best way to describe that. So, um, for example, let me select Pinky Small. Let's make a copy of her. And I'm gonna convert to smart object, and I'm gonna make two versions of her just so you can see. So this one's not a smart object, these two are. I'm gonna go into either one, you can click on either one of them, and then I can have her clothes be, let's say, another color. Let's make it green. And I saved that. I clicked save. I'm going back and both of them are green now. This one is not because it wasn't a smart object that has the same root. Now I can do take this and make it into another smart object and go into this one, and I'm gonna make, I don't know, her hair green. Make her head green, whatever. And now these have the head green, but not the clothing, because they have different roots. So this can be very useful, especially when making building items. So now I'm gonna go in and show you guys uh, what this whole thing was about. So here I have some tedious items like doors and trims and staircases and other things like that that you need to build your environment with. So all of that annoying stuff turns into this lovely stuff. And now back into Photoshop. As you can see, it is a smart object. I'm gonna go into it, and all these other things, there are other smart objects within smart objects, so you can like nest this indefinitely. And let's say I wanna have, I don't know, have this front bar be green for whatever reason, and I have some blending options. I can add a stroke, something like that, and I click save. I close this. Now I click save again, and this updated in the other two. Now I have on these some blending options, some styles, and some other layers here for adjustment. If I turn these off, you can kind of start to see how it's looking, like all of these effects. As you can see, it's the same thing. I've copied it 3 times. I have I copied it 2 times, but I have like 3 of them. And then I've added the blending, and I'm getting that brownish color that I wanted. Same for the white version. And let's say I realize, oh my gosh, this green is horrible, it does not fit within the game, I need to remove it. You go back in and you dig a little deeper, go into the next one, and then I turn off this effect because I think, oh, it's horrible, let me clear that layer style, and I save it again, and it's gone. And there it is. So if I realize here that, maybe I want some like little swoopy swirls in this area, or I need like an extra piece to connect these, because for example, there's some of these trims, like double, triple trims, are not in the vanilla game, but they look now like they are. I can just go into Photoshop and add a little piece here, let's say in that empty spot, and it will update for all of them and be the right color for that. I don't need to kind of work extra for it. So uh, that's kind of how I'm using Photoshop to make a big project like the Ghibli Town mod. Hope you found this video useful. If you have any other questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. I always like hearing from you guys. And I stream live every week. Um, you can come by and ask me questions if there was something you didn't quite fully understand in this tutorial. I try my best to explain things as clearly as I can, but as always, something seems clear to me might not be to you, or I skip some steps or move too fast. Don't worry, you can drop by, live stream, ask me, and I'll be happy to show you. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye everyone.